For almost 50 years now, there's been this signal, a single 72-second burst of radio waves from deep space that has completely stumped scientists. It was powerful, it was totally unexplained, and then it was gone. Never heard from again. This is the story of the WOW signal, a genuine mystery that could honestly change everything we think we know about our place in the cosmos. And it all started with this one word, just a simple, almost instinctive scribble in red pen on a clunky computer printout. See, when astronomer Jerry Ehman was going over the data, days after it was recorded, he saw something so startling, so out of place, that this was the only thing he could think to write. And just like that, one of the greatest cosmic mysteries got its name. And this is what he saw, this cryptic little string of 6 characters, 6EQUJ5. I know, it doesn't really look like much, does it? But believe it or not, that short sequence represents the single strongest, clearest, and most tantalizing hint we've ever gotten that might just point to extraterrestrial intelligence. The big question is, what does it actually mean? To crack that code, we've got to go back to the night it was all picked up. So picture this. It's August 15th, 1977, at Ohio Wesleyan University. There's this massive radio telescope. People called it the Big Ear, and it's part of the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence project. SETI. It's just silently sweeping the sky, listening for anything unusual. And that night, coming from the direction of the Sagittarius constellation, it heard something. The thing it picked up wasn't just some random blip either. No, it was this steady, powerful transmission that lasted for a full 72 seconds. Now that number is super important because 72 seconds is the exact amount of time that the Big Ear telescope would be focused on a single point in deep space as the Earth rotated. And then, just as suddenly as it arrived, it vanished. All right, so let's get back to that weird code. You might be thinking 6EQJ5 is some kind of alien message, right? But it's not a message in that sense. It's actually a really clever shorthand way of showing the signal's strength, its raw power, as the telescope was recording it. Here's how it worked. The Big Ear's computer measured the signal's intensity every 12 seconds. It would print a number from 1 to 9 for how many times stronger the signal was than the normal background static of space. But if it got stronger than that, it switched to letters. A meant 10 times stronger, B was 11, and so on. So our signal started at a solid 6, then jumped to E, that's 14 times background noise, and peaked at an incredible U, which is 30 times stronger than the cosmic static, before it started to fade back down. And when you actually plot those values out, you don't get some messy random spike. Instead, you get a perfect rise and fall bell curve. The signal gets stronger, it hits its peak, and then it fades away just as symmetrically. This is exactly the signature you'd expect to see from a fixed source out in deep space, as our telescope's view pans across it. Natural signals from space, they are almost never this clean and orderly. Okay, so a powerful signal with a perfect bell curve is already fascinating stuff. But what really took the WOW signal from being just a weird anomaly to a deep, potentially world-changing mystery was a scientific paper that came out almost 2 decades earlier, one that basically predicted this exact thing would happen. Way back in 1959, 2 physicists, Philip Morrison and Giuseppe Cocconi, had this brilliant idea. They argued that if an intelligent civilization wanted to be found, they wouldn't just pick some random frequency to broadcast on. They'd pick a special one, a universal channel that everyone in the galaxy would think to listen to. And their suggestion? 1420 megahertz. It's the natural frequency of hydrogen, the most common thing in the entire universe. It's like the universe's natural calling card. And this is the part that should give you chills. The WOW signal, detected 18 years after that paper was published, was broadcasting on that exact frequency. The cosmic hello that scientists predicted, the one they were specifically listening for, it seemed to have arrived. The chances of that just being a random coincidence are, well, they're astronomical. So if this was a deliberate signal, the next question is obvious. Who sent it? We know it came from the direction of the Sagittarius constellation, which is a really crowded, star-filled part of our galaxy. But actually pinpointing the exact star system has been impossible, and it's all because of a weird little quirk in how the Big Ear telescope was built. You see, the telescope actually had two receivers. They called them feed horns, and they scanned slightly different patches of the sky. So any real signal from deep space should have been seen by the first horn, and then a few minutes later by the second one as the Earth turned. But the wow signal only showed up in one. And because of the way the data was printed out, we can't tell for sure which of the two horns picked it up. This leaves us with two possible strips of the sky it could have come from, but no way to know which one.
Of course, good science means you have to try your absolute hardest to prove your own amazing discoveries wrong. So for decades now, astronomers have been trying to find a normal, boring explanation for the wow signal. They've suggested everything from earthly interference to some bizarre, undiscovered natural event. But here's the thing. The wow signal just doesn't act like anything we know of. Natural cosmic events, like pulsars, they tend to blast out energy across a wide range of frequencies. The wow signal was laser-focused, incredibly narrow, locked right on that special hydrogen frequency. Its intensity profile was smooth and deliberate, not chaotic and random. And maybe most important of all, natural events that are strong enough for us to detect usually repeat. This was a one and done. So what about the other theories? Could it have been a radio signal from right here on Earth that bounced off a piece of space junk? Not likely. It would be way too weak, and plus that 1420 megahertz frequency is internationally protected for radio astronomy. No one is supposed to be broadcasting on it. Other really clever ideas, like the signal being magnified by some kind of gravitational twinkling or maybe a passing comet letting off a cloud of hydrogen, they've all been looked into and they just don't fit the facts. So you can imagine the absolute excitement after that first discovery. Astronomers really thought they were on the verge of the single biggest discovery in human history. They pointed the big ear and later much more powerful telescopes right back at that same little patch of sky, just listening and listening. They've done over 100 different searches in the years since. And every single time, all they've heard is nothing, just the regular cosmic silence. For nearly half a century, the sky has been quiet. That 72-second message from 1977 is still a singular, solitary event. It's the best piece of evidence we've ever found for extraterrestrial intelligence, but it's a lead that has gone completely cold, leaving us with so many more questions than we have answers. And so that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? Was the wow signal a deliberate hello from another civilization out there? A message in a bottle sent across the cosmic ocean? Or was it just some bizarre fluke of nature? A reminder that the universe is far stranger and more complex than we can even begin to imagine? Whatever the answer is, that 72-second whisper from the stars is still challenging us, reminding us that maybe, just maybe, we're not alone after all. And that, I think, is the most profound message of all.